welcome. Thanks for joining. Today I'm going to play through, on request of a YouTube commenter, someone who watched the previous time I played through the RCM Introductory Grade book. I'm now going to play through Grade 1 today. So here is the book with it's in two sort of sections. The repertoire, which is chronological, so we start with Renaissance pieces, Baroque pieces, classical, early classical, later classical, early romantic, later romantic, and then eventually 20th and 21st century. So and then the next section are studies and etudes. So that's kind of like how it's structured. And I'll play through the whole lot, a little bit of commentary. I'll try to answer questions if you have questions about the repertoire. So let's dive in to the first piece. Now you might be wondering here, 3/2, what is that? How can something be in 3/2 time? That means that we want to feel 3 half notes or 3 minims per measure. Where's my annotation tool? Is not working here. That's not good. Not sure why that's not working. Anyway, I'll play this piece for you. Tourbillon by Anonymous. So we've got a little bit of information here. A lively 16th century dance that often followed a bus dance. Okay, so lively dance in 3 time. We want to feel the half note beat. So 3 half notes per bar. Okay, so it's really important because it might look like it's in 4 time, 6 crotchets, 6 quarter notes, but we want to feel 3. Okay, so here we go. Nice, beautiful short piece there to start. Lots of interesting little twists and turns there. Some chromaticism that's a little bit unexpected. Some nice interplay in dialogue between the melody and bass voices. Something you might want to try and bring out in your interpretation. We also have quite a bit of repetition, so I tried to vary the color a little bit for the repetition as well. Alright, so there's the first piece. Next we have an Allemande by Morley. William Morley. I think that's how you say Willem Morley. So this one's in cut time. So again, we want to look at the time signature carefully. It looks like on first appearance, it looks like it's in 4/4 time, but we want to feel, instead of feeling 4 beats, we really want to feel 2 beats per bar. So it will result in a kind of livelier feel when we do that. All right. So here is an Allemande means literally German. So it is a German dance. It's usually kind of stately and quite orderly, and this one's a bit more lively. Dances tended to slow down over time, so if you play an Allemande by Bach, it tends to be a bit slower, a bit more ornamented. So this one's a little bit lighter and more maybe upbeat. So here is our Allemande. This is in D major, and we have repeats of each section again. Many dance pieces will have 2 sections, each one repeated. Here we go. Beautiful. Allemand. Next we have Brainal Anglaise. English Brainal, I believe, the translation. I believe that is some form of dance. Lots of Renaissance and Baroque, especially earlier Baroque pieces, will often be dances. So it can be good to look these up. What are the main features? So I'm looking this up right now. Brainal there's lots of other variations of the word too. So it's a type of French dance. Couples dance by couples in a line or a circle. The term also refers to the music and the characteristic step of the dance. So I don't want to go too scholarly here and you spend too long researching things, but just to get a general idea of this. But this is so French, but Anglaise, so it's like an English version of this dance, I guess, by Emmanuel Andreasen. What a name! What a mouthful of a name there. Arranged by Paul Geritz. So now I'm seeing, this. I'm seeing this kind of quick, repetitive rhythm here. Ba-da-dum, 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 ba-dum, ba-da-dum, 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 bum. So that's pretty cool. And we've got cut time again. So we want to feel it in two, not da 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 dum da da dum da da dum bum bum ba da dum ba da dum ba da dum bum. Feel the big beats in two. Here we go. That goes by very fast. No repeats, I guess. There we go. So really nice turn there. We got, oh, now that's working. Here we go. So, the major chord to the minor. I like to kind of end the major chord bright and then go to the minor sound, the minor harmony there with a darker color. And then following the shape of the melody. A lot of this, this music, they didn't write dynamics down. It's not to say that we shouldn't do it by any means, that we shouldn't do dynamics because it's not written. I like to say it's like the composer is handing the piece to you on a silver platter and saying, what do you want to do with the music as an interpreter of the music? That's, to me, that's what no dynamics means on a score. It's not that we shouldn't do any dynamics because it's older music. They were very, very just as emotional beings as we are. So, music to them was, they wanted to put feeling and soul and spirit into the music too, like we do now. So they just didn't write it. They didn't often write it down in the past. Part of the reason is paper and ink were rare, and part of it was that it was just assumed that the person reading the text would put some feeling and dynamics and things into the music. So please don't get into that trap of thinking that because there's no dynamics in the music that you should play it all in one dynamic. Quite the contrary. Add your own. It's an opportunity to add your own dynamics in. Okay, we skip now. Why are we going to 20th century piece here? I'm not too sure why. I thought it was chronological, but not quite. It's not quite chronological here, so I'm not sure what the deal is here with the way the repertoire is arranged. It could be, sometimes they do these books like but the book itself will progress. So that's my guess here, is that the pieces will get, as you go on and on, the pieces will get a little bit more, a bit longer and a little bit more demanding. So let's see if that's the case anyway. All right, so now we have a lullaby. We want to play, the title, and want to look at the title and use any clues it has to inform the manner in which I play. So lullaby, we want it to be nice and gentle and slower. It's not in any like cut time or anything, so we actually want to feel the beats quite kind of heavy. Each beat is quite heavy now. So very nice. That's a beautiful little tune there. All right. So, what was I going to talk about here? Oh yeah. So the pieces prior to this one were dances mostly. I think this was a dance. Alaman's a dance. This is probably a dance as well. 16th century dance. So these were all dances. This is the first piece that's a bit more like a song. So I think you want to treat it that way, a bit more lyrical, melodic, more melodically focused. Probably more rubato could be used here. So there we go. Beautiful. The lullaby there by Savio. Next, it looks like we're going sort of back to the Renaissance period again. Caleno costure me. Something something me. So I would, look it up. Just, you don't have to get too stuck into the scholarship and history and context and everything, but just a translation would be good. So what is this? This is to do with Shakespeare, the title of a song mentioned in Shakespeare's Henry V. The song, so is it some kind of song, which is a good clue? What does this mean though? What does the title mean? Kalen o costumi. It's not actually that easy to. So what I'm just going to translate this in Google Translate. If you don't manage to find it in Google itself, then you can try using Google Translate. So this is not coming up with, it thinks it's Italian, but it's actually not really translating it. There's the word costure. What does that mean? Apparently that's English. I've never heard that one before. Have you heard of that word before? Costure. What does it mean? Costure. Is it English? Alright, there's a bit of a mystery with this one. I'd have to really dig into this, so I'll just play the music for now. Alright, so we're in 3/4 time. beautiful. It's kind of almost like a little bittersweet melody there. I feel it's in major, but it's got a kind of slight sense of sadness to it as well. Okay, next we have Canción del Limpiabotas, Song of the Shoe Shiner by Cease Hartog. Okay, born in 1949. All right, so again a song too. So this one was a song, so playing it, at least it seems like that's what it was, you know, from my little search that I did. This is also a song. Looks like the melody's in the bass, so I want to play it a bit more melodically. I'm probably going to shape this melody a little bit as the melody rises, a little crescendo, as the melody falls, decrescendo. So let's have a listen to this one. No repeats, go so quick when there are no repeats. Yeah, it's a beautiful little tune there. Very nice. Okay, next one. What if a day, a month, or a year? 16th century. I think this was quite a popular tune, this one, in the 16th century. Very nice. Whenever you're playing a song, especially, I think it's especially good to look for phrasing, or look at the phrasing. And, you know, the way that I was seeing it was, you can see that one of the clues, we get these long chords at the ends of phrases, so those are probably phrases there. One spot, so they're mostly two bar phrases, but then when I got here I thought, oh, they're kind of broken up into these small so like almost like questioning little phrases. And then it ends there. So think about phrasing. Guitar music rarely uses phrase marks, whereas most other instruments they do use phrase marks. I don't know why the guitar doesn't. It's something I often am bemoaning. Why don't we use phrase marks more? So once again, if it's not in the score, you can decide what the phrasing is. You have to think about it. If it's not indicated for you, you gotta make some kind of decision. Put a bit of thought into that. So there we go. So something else to consider: dynamics, phrase marks. Think of the time signature. Think if it's a song or a dance, the style, the feel, the tempo, all these things. Okay, next one we have Old Fashioned Song by Claude Gagnon. Old Fashioned Song. Okay. That's a nice, charming little tune there. Also, once again, it's in D major, but it sort of has a slight kind of tinge of sadness to it as well. It's got a kind of sweet, bittersweet song, that one. Next one is Les Marionnettes. So I guess the Marionettes, Remy Bouchard. Seems like there's quite a few French pieces in this book. Okay, so this one is getting a bit longer, and we've got a DC al fine. So we're going to go A and then B, repeat B, and then go back to repeat A and end at the fine. DC means da capo, so from the start to the finish. I'll zoom in a bit for you there so you can see. All right, here we go. So the Marionettes, this title is a bit more, in some ways, abstract in a way. Well, not abstract, but I'm not sure exactly how the music portrays the meaning of a marionette. But let's have a listen and see. Beautiful. To me, there's a sort of a childlike simplicity to this piece. It's in C major, and it's very simple in a way. Still a really beautiful piece. Got a very nice character to it. So there we go. Do we have any questions? Let me know if you have any questions today, if you're watching. Okay, next up, Anglaise 1 by Francesco Molino. Anglaise, this might be referring to, let's have a look here, Anglaise in music. I know it means English, but I don't know if there's another English dance. Yeah, so it's basically means some kind of English dance. Okay, so that's, again, at least if we can get that category of is it a song or a dance, that's helpful. So some kind of English dance, people might have known what that meant back then a bit more. Now we'd have to do quite a bit of scholarship, I think, to know exactly what that means. So but I'm going to play this with a dance feel. So here we go. Okay, nice. Also quite a simple tune there. Very nice feel. Da capo tutto. So we go back to the start, and I think just go back to the start and repeat everything again, basically. So nice. All right. Next piece. How do we pronounce this one? Ecossaise. I don't really know how to pronounce this one. What is this? An energetic country dance in duple time. Okay, Energetic Country Dance by Giuliani. So this one can be quite quick. Again, good to distinguish if it's a song or a dance. So here we go. Nice. Looks like Giuliani wrote 12 for the guitar. Must have been maybe a popular dance in its time. Next we have a Waltz by Carulli. Now most of us I think will be familiar with a waltz. A waltz is another type of dance in triple time, usually quite quick, usually with a accent on the first beat, like a pa pa sort of feel. So we want to capture that. We want to be careful that this arpeggio pattern doesn't sound too like a study. You know, it's a dance. So we need to infuse that character into the music. So let me give that a go. Like. Very charming piece by Carulli. Very nice. Deceptively difficult, I would say. We've got lots of dynamic markings now indicated. So the question is, what do we do with those? Well, Carulli himself actually said, I'm actually quoting Carulli here, the right hand does not have a fixed position due to the extent to which you want to sweeten the sounds to imitate the harp or I can't remember the rest of the quote, but the right hand does not have a fixed position. So basically these guitarists, Carulli, Carcassi, Fernando Sor, Aguado, and others were saying this very similar principle, that when you play loud, you play closer to the bridge, and when you play soft, you play closer to the fretboard. And you know, when you've got these dynamics indicated already, it's awesome. It's really fun to just move your hand around. You know, when you get the piano, just move it, play more tasto. When you get the mezzo fortes or forte, louder volume, louder dynamics, play closer to the bridge, and you get this great variety of character, variety of sound. It's almost like an orchestral effect that's created from that. Another deceptive thing about this piece, so one is the timing, the tempo. We don't want it to be too like sounding like a study, like an arpeggio study, because it's not an arpeggio study, it's a waltz. And so, you know, the rhythmic feel is important. That's one thing that's important, but also bringing out the melody above the pedal note in the middle. So notice how I really tried to do that. I really tried to bring out that melody, the bass and the melody, right? And then the G is just a filler. Instead of that way of playing, which is very common at someone at a, you know, grade 1 level. It's very easy to play it in that style, and maybe you need to do that when you're learning it, but you want to think about kind of like the direction you want to go in. What's the aim here? And that's partly what I'm trying to do here with the demonstrations. I'm trying to hopefully give a good sort of representation of what these pieces can sound like when they're given their full, you know, dynamic range and considerations of the style and the dynamics and the phrasing and things like that. So yeah, so that's that can be quite difficult, because, you know, you have to think about the balance, and you're doing that with one hand, you know, like the right hand bringing out one line and bringing down another, and you have the bass. It's a lot of control that's required, even though it's a seemingly simple piece. It's a grade 1 piece. And if you're a more advanced guitarist, you know, I'd strongly recommend that you practice easy pieces from time to time, not always, you know, things that are at your upper limit. I think it's a really good way to warm up, and a really good way to consolidate and solidify, and to just bring out your best playing. Because when you're struggling to learn a difficult piece, you're not going to be showing your best playing. You know, you're stretching yourself when you do that, which is good, but also nice to play things like this, which are, I think, easier on a technical level, but you can really work on other things like balance, phrasing, dynamics, color changes, things like that, rhythm. Anyway, next piece is by Fernando Sor, Allegretto. So it's a study from Opus 60. So it's the 8th study from Opus 60. Here we go. Okay, nice. I should have pointed out allegretto is a tempo indication. So, you know, allegro means spirited, like it's an indication for the tempo to be quite quick. Allegretto is kind of like a level below that. So I could have played it maybe a little bit faster. Maybe I'll play it through without the repeats a little faster, just to see what the effect is. The only thing I worry about is when you get here, if you play too fast, if the tempo is too quick, it might sound a little out of balance at this point, but let's have a listen to. Yeah, there may be something like that, something in between that and the other tempo I did. So it's not always. I mean, they've got some kind of clue there, but Fernando Sor, that's not Fernando Sor's marking, right? He didn't. That's just a arbitrary. We don't really know what tempo the allegretto. Okay, so my answer for, if you have the question, what tempos are correct, my answer is always the most correct tempo is tempo comfortable, because if you're trying to play something at a tempo that doesn't feel comfortable for you, maybe it's technically, maybe it's musically, then I think that's where you're getting into right and wrong territory, to me. If you're trying to force yourself to play at a certain tempo and it doesn't feel right and you technically can't handle it, then don't force yourself to do it, because it's not going to sound very nice. It'll just the tempo that's comfortable, tempo comfortable for you. Okay, so next piece, poco allegretto. Okay, so allegretto, poco allegretto, so like a little bit allegretto, a little allegretto by Carulli. Yeah, nice, charming piece, that one too. I maybe could have played it a little bit quicker, but I was fairly happy with that tempo, I think. What do you think? You think that could have been a bit faster, a bit slower? Let me know in the chat. Okay, next one. Country Dance by Carulli. Okay, we know it's a dance by the title, so we're going to aim... You know, when something's a dance, it means, to me, it's a bit more about accent, it's a bit more about articulation and rhythm and keeping time and things like that. That's kind of what I focus on a bit more. But, you know, there's still melody and there's still dynamics and there's still form and phrasing and all those good things as well. So, well, let's have a listen to Country Dance by Carulli. Very charming, very nice piece there. The key of G major actually was described. Let me get the quote up. I won't display it on the screen. I'll just read it out to you. But I wrote a book called Fundamental Harmony and gathered some different quotes by various composers of the 18. Was it 7? Oh, I've got the dates right here. Various composers from the 19th, pretty much the 19th century here, and they said about G major, everything rustic, and rustic does have something to do with the country, right? Countryside. Moderately idyllic and lyrical, each quiet and satisfied passion, each tender recompense for sincere friendship and true love. In a word, each gentle and serene motion of the heart can be expressed splendidly in this key. Another quote from a different author, different musician, Favorite key of youth expresses sincerity of faith, quiet love, calm meditation, simple grace, pastoral life, and a certain humor and brightness. Those quotes fit this piece just to a T, perfectly fit this piece. They won't always do that. We're generalizing when we, these quotes are generalizing keys, but a lot of the times these generalizations are quite true. So next piece is Moderato by Fernando Sor. I know this one quite well. Opus 31, number 1. Couldn't help but add a couple of ornaments there, like, well, embellishments or little variations, just because of the repeats. I don't think there's anything unstylistic about that. I'm sure that Fernando Sor himself and other guitarists of the time would have done that, and there's actually written evidence for that. When for example, Aguado has almost an arrangement of Fernando Sor's grand solo, and he kind of does that. He adds his own embellishments and variations and things like that. So if you want to, go for it. Why not? Okay, next, Farewell to Nova Scotia, a Canadian folk song arranged by Michael Connor. All right. I'm not familiar with this. Might be a good idea to look it up and try and listen to it, the original folk song if you can, but we'll just play through it now. Here we go. Beautiful, it definitely has that kind of folk song feel to it, by the melodic motion and the types of harmonies that are used. And again, when we're playing a song, I really want to think about the phrase structure. Where do the phrases start and end? Really important, That might be the first phrase, and then it's kind of like a question, and then you get the answer. That might be the second idea there, and then third. To there, and then the final. So just to give you an example. Maybe that's not even the correct phrasing, but I've made a decision and I'm playing it with. It's better to make a decision and be wrong than to not make a decision at all and not even consider the phrasing. That's my viewpoint anyway. So at least feel it out. Feel out what do you think the phrasing is, and then write it down. Like I'm just use phrase marks, and if you're wrong, you might never know. You can't always. Bach's not alive, Barrios is not alive, Tárrega's not alive. Like, we can't ask them. We don't always know. We're not always going to know for sure. So just give it feel it out. Okay, next piece, Moderato by Fernando Sor again. Another Sor study, Opus 35. Study number 2 from Opus 35. Do we have any questions? I see there's a few people joining. Thanks for joining. Let me know if you have any questions. We are well into book 1 now of Royal Conservatory of Music guitar series, book 1. Here is Sor's Moderato. Very fun piece. I really like the rhythmic energy of this study. There's the way that it's that last beat of each measure kind of propels us into the next measure. Very nice. There's a hidden kind of key change in this piece. It starts in the key of C, and then in the middle here it goes to the key of G, but you wouldn't know it because you don't see any Fs, Fs which would turn into F sharp until we get there. So it goes into the key of G. Remember the quiet, lyrical, satisfied, recompense for sincere friendship, everything rustic, all those quotes about G major. You hear that change, right? C major, quite energetic in this case, and then G major gets a bit more serene, and then we go back to the more action-packed C major. Next, we have a very popular piece by Carulli and Andante from his method, Opus 241. Let's have a listen to this one. You probably will be familiar with it. I think the main challenge with this piece is bringing out the melody, making it not sound like a study, but making it into a nice, beautiful, expressive, storytelling piece of music. Okay, let's try and do that. Beautiful. So again, I would implore you please to think about the phrasing of this, and also that these G's are not the melody. So the melody is not right, the melody is, so we want to really bring that out. The way the melody rises and falls, the phrasing, right? Maybe that's the first phrase and that's the second phrase. So you get a little bit of time there. the notes are repeating, so you might want to articulate the notes are rising, so you might want to crescendo, but then it's starting at G major and then it's going to E minor, so you might want to, even though it's rising, it's kind of getting a touch of sadness at the top there, bittersweet kind of thing. It's in the key of G, so again it's got that serene motion of, each serene motion of the heart can be captured, can be expressed splendidly in this key. To quote what I was quoting earlier, was it everything rustic, moderately idyllic. These sentiments really, I think, could apply very well to this piece by Carulli. Okay, we get an Anglaise now, also by Carulli. So this just means English. So it's probably an English dance. I don't know too much more than that, but I do know it's a dance. So I want to bring out a dance character here. Okay, I can see that it's in 3 sections, A, B, A. So you get an A section, a B section, go back to A. We have a key change. We're going from C major here to A minor there. The G sharp is the clue, plus the bass line, A's and E's in the bass. Once again, we've got this melody on the top and pedaling accompaniment. So we don't want to like meld the two together too much. We really want to try and separate. Almost think like a pianist, like that. This line here. It's like the right hand of the piano, and the rest is the left hand. Okay, so I was really trying to bring out more of a dance. If this was a song, I played it with a different style. It's a dance, so I'm a bit more 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. A little bit more rhythmic and articulate with it, and a bit more consistency in the accents, things like that. Okay, next we get an Andantino by Diabelli. Anton Diabelli. Also in C major, lots of C major pieces here. This is in cut time, so keep that in mind. Andantino is a tempo marking, which means faster than andante, I think. Faster. So andante is a kind of moderate walking pace, a little bit faster than that. It's in cut time, so that will contribute to that. Beautiful, like nice little touches in that. I like this. This is sometimes referred to as an appoggiatura. I sometimes call them tendency tones, or you could think of it as a suspension too. You get a preparation a dissonance or a suspension, and then a resolution. It's a beautiful effect there. He does it again in the B section. And that's what these dynamic hairpins are there for, to indicate that. Next up, Waltz by Carulli. Very inventive titles. Waltz by Carulli. Dance. Okay, nice, beautiful piece, beautiful waltz. G major for the first two lines there. The relative minor, E minor, hence piano, pianissimo, softer, more tasto, darker. G major is a bit brighter, but again G major. Those quotes that I used earlier. Okay, and we get another waltz by Carulli again. Okay, let's have a listen to this one. Yes, very nice waltz there. Again, we have three parts. The A section's in C major. The B section all the way over here is in A minor. And again, hence the both start with mezzo piano, but C major tends to be, sound a little brighter. A minor. A little darker and sadder. Next piece on the list, we have Sognando by Dreaming by Xenomon. nice, very evocative piece. The repeating rhythm almost has like a lullaby kind of, you know, hypnotic sort of repeating rhythm. I probably could have played it a bit more like a little bit gentler, but that's something to explore. Nice piece there. Next we have no idea what this word means. Quasars. I need to look this up quickly just to see what does this mean exactly. If there's a clue. Quasars meaning quasar. Is it a quasar? Quasar. Oh, quasar. I've heard of this. A quasar is some kind of extremely luminous galactic core where gas and dust falling into a supermassive black hole emit electromagnetic radiation across the entire electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, quasars. Right. Alright, so this is a bit like science fiction here we're playing. Okay, so here we go. Okay, yeah, and very nice. Much more sort of a modern piece there, but it's got a kind of almost a Latin American rhythm to it or something. That's kind of nice fusion there, and yeah, very, I guess, very science fiction there. Nice piece. Next we get another lullaby by Domeniconi. Very nice, very clever writing there, especially with the B section. If you notice that he's just repeating a chord shape there, up and down. Very nice. Then we get a minuetto by Domeniconi. A minuet is a dance in 3, usually moderate tempo. Usually there's a hemiola. It's usually quite graceful. A hemiola at the end of the phrase. I'm not sure if there is in this one. This is a bit of like a modern kind of minuet. So let's have a listen. Very nice. Well, so again, minuet, we know it's a dance. You're going to try and infuse that character of the dance. It's the most important thing, I would say. Next we have sound picture number 24, also by Domeniconi. nice. That's a beautiful piece there. I might have played it perhaps a tad too slowly, but I guess might be good for you know, if you're learning that piece. I've got some comments here. Thank you in the chat. Yes, you like the RCM series. Yeah, I think they're great collection. Really nice graded repertoire. There aren't that many, you know, graded collections of pieces. There's RCM, there's AB RSM, there's AMEB, there's Classical Guitar Corner, and I think that's about it to my knowledge. Oh, Suzuki as well. So there's a few out there, but not like a huge amount to choose from. But if you choose one collection, there's a lot of repertoire to go through. This is like 500 pages here. This is the complete RCM from introductory to grade 8. I think they have diploma levels too, if I'm not mistaken. I think same with the AB RSM. I'm not as familiar with these as I am with AMEB because I'm from Australia originally, and I know that Australia has books up to grade 6. So you get like, I think there's a preliminary grade, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get books, and then there's a syllabus with more pieces, and that also is a great syllabus. And then you get, you know, grade 7 and grade 8, and then you get 3 certificate grades after that, which are pretty much like the top pieces of our repertoire. So yeah, if you know, I'd encourage you to, if you're not plugged into one of these you know, curriculum type books series, I'd highly encourage you to do that, because it gives you the programs all laid out. It's progressive. It's pretty nice. You get a good variety of repertoire too, from, you know, from different styles and etudes and things like that. So okay, next piece is Travelin' by Michael Colin. Travelin'. I think this is going to be a bit of a bluesy piece, is my guess. I'm surprised they don't have swing indicated, right? It would be something like that equals that, because I wouldn't want to play it like that. I really want to swing the quavers, swing the eighth note. So I don't know if that's like appropriate or not, but like kosher, like, you know, in an exam, I don't know, but I would recommend doing that from just a purely stylistic perspective. Cool, that's a really cool piece. We get now a Waltz by Bartolome Calatayud. A bit of a handful of it. I know this piece actually did quite well. This is, I think, in the Suzuki, one of the Suzuki books. I think it's also in AMEB grade 2 maybe, or not grade 3, maybe grade 2. So it's out there, this one. You might know it. Here we go. Waltz. I'm going to get that dance feel. Here. 12th fret. Sorry, at the end. I went to the 5th fret by accident there. Anyway, hopefully that gave you enough of a feel, and what I'm trying to do there is really pump out the melody with rest strokes, right? And then the accompaniment, nice and staccato, light, and with free strokes. So you really get the distinguishation, is that, distinction between the melody and the accompaniment. What you don't want it to sound like, I would say, is that sort of thing where it's all like melded together. So that's quite challenging, right? It's one of the great things about playing simple pieces. You can really address the subtlety, the nuances of a piece, rather than just trying to like struggle tackling the notes, right? You can really get to these subtle, like shaping the melody, using rest stroke for the melody, articulating the accompaniment, varying the dynamics, playing it at a good tempo. Nice. Okay, where are we at now? Ancient Drums by Norbert Kraft. How many pieces do we have left? Norbert Kraft, Ancient Drums, Big City Blues, Reverie, and then we're going to get a bunch of shorter studies. We got a little ways to go. Check that out. Wow, it's quite a few pieces left. Okay, all right. Well, I'm just going to try and play through these pretty quick because time is starting to run short for me. As if you've been watching, thank you for watching. Ancient Drums. So here we get the tambura effect. Tambura means drum, and it's a technique where you hit the bridge with your thumb, like so. And the more bridge you get, the more percussion you'll get. The more string you hit, the more notes you'll get. So you might want something in between. 1, 2, 3, 4. Golpe is, hitting the soundboard, in this case with the thumb. Broken. Done that a little bit louder, but okay. Very cool piece. It's probably the most difficult piece I think that I've played from this book so far, just because of all the different techniques that are required. But it's very, very cool. Lots of great effects in that one. So what did you think of that? Let me know in the chat. Okay, Big City Blues. Again, we got a blues piece, and we'll see what we do with the swinging of the quavers here. James Brown, Big City Blues. That's really nice. Really cool little piece there. Maybe not appropriate to swing the quavers. I was wondering because it's in 9/8. So in a sense they're kind of swung already. So nice. Next piece, Reverie, Dream. Reverie means dream by Sean Bell. This looks quite evocative. You can kind of see there's different sections here. This tenderly section, faster here, and then kind of slower at the end there, winding down. Here we go. Reverie. That's a very nice piece there. Okay, so I think that's the last piece in the repertoire portion. There's quite a few pieces. I might have to make this a part 1 and do, yeah, no, there's too many. I'm gonna have to do a part 2, I think, and do the studies. I didn't think it would take so long to play through the pieces through the repertoire, so I will do part 2 another time. Especially if you would like me to, please let me know. What do you want me to do? I'm you know, here I'm listening. Or what do you know, whatever you would like, what you want me to play or study or talk about or anything like that, just please let me know, and I'll try to help you out. I've got some topics kind of lined up based on people's comments. So we've got like reading in high positions on the fretboard, learning fretboard harmony, rule of the octave. What is the rule of the octave? It's one of my oldest videos that I really need to update what the rule of the octave is to be a newer video. So if those are a few topics that I've got, let me know if you have a topic you'd like me to explore. I'll try and add it to the list. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'll do part 2. I don't know when, but I'll be back soon. Thanks for joining. Bye bye.